Hi, good morning, good evening for everybody on the call. Welcome to our webinar on Spring 15 release, where the theme is about optimizing conversions across the digital commerce lifecycle. My name is Raj Badrinath. I'm the Vice President of Product Marketing and Alliances for Avangate, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you. I also have with me my esteemed colleague, our technical evangelist, Marius Oyaga, and Marius will be taking us through some of the specific demos and making it all real in terms of what we have built for you guys in this release. Before we get started, just a quick set of housekeeping rules. These lines have been muted. You please use the questions box on the right-hand side. We will actually continue to monitor that, and we will answer the questions towards the end of the webinar or during. Unanswered questions and parking lot items, we'll follow up with you, and the presentation is being recorded for later playback and sharing. And of course, we'd appreciate your feedback to let us know how we're doing. And the slide from this presentation will be emailed. This is usually the most popular question. Before we jump into it, I just wanted to make one quick announcement for our customers here. First thing to really get started with is we will be rebranding our flagship product edition, which is now called Sky Commerce, to Enterprise Edition. Now, the main sort of driver behind this is to better reflect some of the value that we're adding into the product. Now, nothing changes as far as you're concerned. There's going to be no change in, the platform or the service. I think it's really to do with making it consistent from a marketing standpoint. So you really have 3 editions now. So if you go to the website, you can actually see this. One is a growth edition, the second is a standard edition, the third is an enterprise edition. And I suspect most of you on the call will be around enterprise or on standard. Okay. Let's jump into it. So what is the Spring 15 release all about? So as I mentioned earlier, the theme is around conversions. And what we found is from talking to customers, the word conversion is actually frequently misunderstood, right? They look at this as conversion as something as a top of the funnel, mainly focused on the acquisition pieces. So what we are trying to really get to the next stage is to encourage our customers to start to think about conversion not just as one point at the top of the funnel, but conversion at every point in this life cycle. What is the life cycle? It's a life cycle of commerce. You acquire a customer, you help them to activate. Clearly, if they don't activate and they don't use, you don't have much of a hope for renewals. And then you basically try to expand your wallet share by looking at upsell, cross-sell strategies. How do you get them to upgrade to the next version? And then finally, the most important of all, how do you have customers help them stay and renew and become a continuous recurring revenue stream for your business? At each point of this life cycle, there is a fallout, there is a break. And what we are trying to say is that, look, we have to step back and provide you, our customers, all the tools that you need to get visibility into A, what is really happening, and B, provide you the control so that you can actually make sure that you're eliminating what we call points of revenue leakage for each one of these boxes. So with that as sort of the overall background, here's what we have in the Spring 15 release. And you'll find that throughout the year, we'll be starting to add different enhancements across this. First is on the acquire and activation side. We have some phenomenal news on A/B testing. There's a bunch of new things that we've introduced here, and we'll talk to you about this. And Marius is going to show us some details of how you can leverage that, starting really quickly in your platform. Number 2 is about CRO, conversion rate optimization. So we're excited to have a bunch of partners. We want to introduce those to you. Third is about expanding the market reach. So we introduced 2 new payment methods in this release. One is Union Pay, and the second is on Direct Debit UK. Fourth is really about revenue recovery tools. So we'll talk about what they are. Many of you may already be exposed to it. For those of you who haven't, you'll actually like this. And also we'll talk about purchase order optimizations, especially for B2B, for those of you who actually focus on B2B. And finally, a section on API enhancements, how do you help better control fulfillment, and also some things on how we continue to invest in being a trusted partner for you and get some certifications. Okay, with that, let's jump into our first major golden feature for this release, which is A/B testing. Stepping back, what is it? A/B testing, as most of us know, being in this industry, is simply a way of helping us increase conversion rate and average order value. What is unique? is we want to make sure that from Avangate, you actually have the tools to do a basic level of testing that you can get started really fast without any additional deployment of resources or requiring IT help to the greatest extent possible. Now, we want to help you model those scenarios that drive the highest level of impact on the funnel. And we also understand that there's dedicated third-party solutions out there. For example, Optimizely comes to mind, that we want to make sure that you can actually integrate with those guys if you so choose. But the main idea being is what can we help you right out of the box? And this is, by the way, available in the new Enterprise Edition as well as the Standard Edition. Okay, so what are the use cases? Three things, right? If there's one thing I want you guys to walk away from this presentation is to remember that there's three big things that you can do on A/B testing right now with Avangate. Number one, we'll help you optimize the purchase funnel. Number two, we'll help you optimize promotional strategies, right? Test which campaign is actually working best with what discounts and so on and so forth. Number three, we help you optimize upselling campaigns, right? To figure out where is the optimal display that actually works with products in the cart. And we'll get into a little bit more detail, but at a very high level, before I hand it over to my esteemed colleague here, is how it works is really simple. It is all about creating a campaign, and you guys are obviously past experts. I'm sure you guys know how to do that very easily. Identifying a control and a variant and deciding the split of traffic between them, running the test for a period of time and actually start to monitor where they are, and looking at the confidence number to actually determine whether one test is won or not. So it's a combination of looking at, what is the approach strategy towards A/B testing, and then determining from the baseline what the variation actually is, and if the variation is actually going to be winning or not with some level of statistical confidence, right? And we declare the winner based on, a certain level of metrics. So what I want to do now is, without further ado, give it to Marius. And Marius, if you don't mind taking us through how this actually works, that'll be great.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to need a quick confirmation that you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can. Go ahead, Marius.
All right, Raj, thank you so much. Well, Raj did an excellent job explaining what A/B testing is, and I'm not going to preach to the choir. I know some of you guys are extremely familiar with it. I just want to know. I just want to say that why I believe it's important that it allows you to actually test any kind of optimizations that you want to introduce that will impact conversions, that will impact average order value in the shopping cart. That will impact the purchase funnel immediately, effortlessly, without requiring any IT assistance, any engineering, or any coding, or JavaScript integration, and so on and so forth. The way we look at here, we look at A/B testing here at Avangate, at our internal solution, is as a way to help you increase conversion rate, to help you boost average order value, and more importantly, to have some sort of a guarantee that the optimization you're about to introduce into production and make them available for all of your customers, those type of optimizations will actually generate the type of results that you expect them to do, right? And yeah, some of you might already be familiar with this area. If you are, you'll notice that we did a complete redesign. Everything is overhauled. The focus now is providing you with the best kind of information to drive your decisions, right? There's also more scenarios that you can test, and there's also new metrics that you can take advantage of when doing tests. So I just want you to look at this graphic, because I think that why this redesign that we did, that we introduced, is important, is that now you can actually segment the results of the test based on visitors, so the number of tests actually run by the platform, based on how many of those visitors actually converted into customers, who the number of them who actually placed an order, and go even a step further beyond that and take advantage of the e-commerce data that we have available in the platform and see how for how many of those visitors there are complete paid orders. And this I think it's an important enhancement over the way A/B test used to work before. And I did mention some new metrics. One of them, which is right here on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, is the confidence level. And what this is designed to do is actually provide you with confidence to take a decision based on the data that's available in this A/B test. What the test will wait for is a statistical confidence level of 95%. Once we have a statistical level of confidence of 95%, the test will declare one of the variations as a winner. Okay, and this area right here will be populated with that specific variation. So, for example, in this test that you see running here on the screen right now, you see that the third variation running is actually very close to becoming the winner, and it's a clear it has a clear lead over the second variation and over the control. And what I want to do now is actually jump into a control panel. This is a test account that I'm actually using, and I want to show you just how simple it is to create A/B tests and to have them up and running almost immediately. I want to do this because I really want to challenge you to try A/B testing for yourself. The out-of-the-box A/B testing tools that are available in your account, right? So in order to convince you to actually do this, let me just show you first how easy it is. And I have two scenarios in mind. The first one, for the first campaign, let's assume that I'm a company who has been using Avangate's one-click purchase without review flow, and I have a feeling that I can increase my conversion rate, right? And the optimization I want to test involves minimizing the billing information required from shoppers. This involves using a feature called Streamline Cart, which actually reduces the number of form fields in the shopping cart and eases the purchase process, right? So I will have one of these versions as my control and one as the variation. So for purchase flow, I'm going to start a new campaign. I'm going to give it a unique name just so I can find it later when I want to revisit this data. Purchase funnel optimization. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to set a number of tests, a maximum number of tests, or an end date. I'm just going to run this through and just wait for that statistical confidence level of 95% or more. And after that, I'll stop it. I'll stop it myself. So the first thing that I need to configure is actually my control variation. And like I said, I am using one page checkout without review. So I will say that 50% of the traffic into checkout will go to my control variation, the flow that I'm currently using. And the other 50%, the remaining 50%, will go to the new flow, which includes streamlined form for billing information. I'll just also add this. And basically, this is it. This is all that it takes. I'm ready to start, and actually, I'm just going to click on Start Campaign, and that's it. I'm up and running. I've already generated a buy link that I can use, and I'll open this in the browser just as a test, just to show you that it works. And what will happen here is that because I give it a 50-50 split on the traffic, I will be redirected to one of the two variation that I've created. In this case, this is the control. As you can see, this is a rather long billing information form. I have first name, last name, and so on and so forth. And this is, like I said, this was my current use of the purchase flow, and I want to optimize the purchase funnel by reducing all of this, the number of fields. So what I will do now is visit that specific link again, and once I do, I'll get redirected automatically by the platform to the new flow. And let me just select United Kingdom because it will be a lot more apparent. The change will be a lot more apparent there. So instead of having all of those fields in the billing information form, now I only get to enter my name as a shopper, the country, this is basically geolocated, and my email, then my payment information, and I'm good to go. So what I want to measure with this test is how much the simple enhancement, the simple optimization to checkout will actually help me increase my conversion rate. And that's it. I can stop A/B test campaigns at any time. I will do this now for this one, just because I want to go and show you another scenario. The second campaign that I wanna set up, and it might be a little bit far-fetched, but let's say that I'm a company that isn't using promotions, right? Isn't using discounts, and I just want to test and see, well, if I start to use a specific discount, a very steep discount, will it indeed help me increase my conversion rate? What's going to be the actual impact, right? So I'll compare the conversion rate of a flow for which I don't offer discount with one for which I actually offer a specific promotion, right? Again, I'll just click on the campaign here. Again, a unique name, just to make it easy to find this campaign again. And I'll add my first variation. The first variation is always the control. So 50% of the traffic goes to a scenario in which I do not have a coupon field in the shopping cart, and I do not offer any type of discount. And for the remaining 50%, I will actually offer a 50% discount. It's Easter, Passover is upon us. I'll just use that as an excuse. I'm adding this variation right now, and once again, that's it. I'm good to go, right? I'll just start my campaign. Nothing more to it. Since I have that link already generated, I'm going to visit the shopping cart, and once again, because of that 50-50 split on traffic, I will get the control version. This one does not have any type of discounts, it's the full price. Revisit the shopping cart once more, and this time around Avangate shows the discount that I set up. All right, and again, I can measure, I can compare percentage promotions to fixed price promotions, and see and really identify the optimization that sits best with my customers. What I really want to show you, and I did mention that I want to extend the challenge to you. I want to show you some of the really great things that some of you actually, some of Avangate's partners are doing in checkout. This, for example, is an upsell campaign, and as you can see, it's an inline, right? It's an own window, and if I were this company, I would maybe try to see, well, what actually will convert better, having it like a pop-up window, like an overlay, like this, or having it as an interstitial page, an intermediary page before the shoppers actually get to the shopping cart. So you can actually compare upsell display upsell campaign display placements. For example, this shopping cart from another one of our partners makes great use of that compact cart feels, that streamlined cart scenario that I've also shown you. And for example, I want maybe to go one step further and try to test PayPal Express checkout as well and just see how that particular checkout will impact conversions for my customers who prefer to use PayPal, right? The last one that I want to show before I hand it over back to Raj is from another one of our partners, and this time around I can extremely easy set up campaigns that really allow me to measure optimization in terms of shopping cart templates, in terms of checkout design. So I might want to show a more prominent payment information area or change the color scheme or have more texts and really test purchase funnel optimizations. And it's extremely easy, like I've just shown you. And what I really want to mention is that I am here for you guys. If you need any help, just reach out to Avangate. We'll reach out to your account manager, and if you need some advice on what to test, some best practices, if you need a demo, if you need me to walk you through the process one more time, I am definitely available, and I will be more than glad to help. This being said, I think I'm ready to hand it over to Raj.
Okay, perfect, Marius. Let me take back control here for a second, and we should be back. Marius, can you confirm for me you can see my screen? Okay, so let's keep going. So just to recap from that, I think what Marius was showing you was all the features. I'm not going to read through this again, but it's really about how we have redesigned A/B testing, made it a lot more flexible, support a lot of out-of-the-box scenarios for purchase flows and conversion rates, measurement on both promotions as well as looking at upsells. What are the key benefits, right? So with everything that you see, there's there's always pros and cons. And one of the things that we want to make sure that you understood was it's really the 80-20 rule. We have most of what you need with no additional costs and no additional time and for training and so on and learning. This thing just works out of the box, right? I think you should be able to take advantage of that right away. 2, technical knowledge, right? We don't need to make any kind of other edits. You don't need to add codes and reconcile all of that with third-party tools. It just works. And it's really meant for business users more than technology users at this point. So, and again, we are evolving into where marketing and technology are coming together, but this is kind of where the direction that we're heading. Third,
Raj, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I can see your screen, and I believe that I have confirmation from another participant. Yeah, that's it. Excellent. Thank you.
Ah, perfect. Thank you for interrupting me. So yes, so the screen is back, as I was saying. And fourth was really around integrating with, with order data. So that's the important piece, right? And whenever you use a third-party tool, what you don't get is order data. And here, it's all in one place. So it makes it a lot more easier for you guys to try these things, look at the visit results visibly into our dashboards. And more importantly, you can always use a third-party tool. This is the important piece, right? It's not just the fact that you can use what we have. It's always a good, better, and best model. And there's some things that we currently have, and we will continue to invest in this. But at the same time, for advanced requirements, you can always use third-party tools, just like how you've had so far. Okay. Next bit that I'm actually quite excited to announce is we have signed on a whole bunch of new agency partners to help you with conversion rate optimization. Now, what these guys represent are they're some of the best in the industry, and they come in with a significant amount of experience and talent in looking at funnels and figuring out how to extract the most amount of value from what you currently have in your funnel by designing a series of tests and experiments towards that. They work in conjunction with the Avangate Growth Services team. And some of the guys that you have here are companies like Wider Funnel, Somebody Digital, Conversion Sciences, SellPoints, Clearhead, and Oban Digital. These guys are absolutely the experts in this space. So we're really excited to have a partnership with all of them. And when you're interested in looking at how do you optimize and take your conversions to the next level, you have the expertise available at hand. So just get in touch with us. Just to understand what are the pieces involved in conversion, when we say conversion rate optimization, what does that really mean? It really means two big buckets. So you have two programs. One program is looking at the entire funnel from soup to nuts, from your homepage to product pages to cart, looking at the entire purchase funnel, and we call it the CRO Ignite program, and that helps you look at the most broadest net that you can cast with your traffic and conversions. And of course, they also have a cart-only program, which is called CRO Boost, which is really around cart pages and making sure that the folks who will end up landing on the cart pages are all converting into orders. So there's a couple of descriptions in terms of what you get over here. We can always go through this in a detail if you're interested in this program. But my big point was to understand that A, just to summarize what we have new A/B testing programs that's available out in the platform. We have a new set of partnership and expertise, and we have CRO services that sits on top of this. So all of this in conjunction helps you really increase your revenues, helps you reduce your costs, and really have a very flexible time-to-market approach. Now, let's move on to the next bit of it, which is about expanding international payments. So one of the things here that you see is really around Union Pay. Union Pay, for those of you who actually are interested in this, will most likely be folks who are trying to sell into Asia Pacific market. So why is this important? Union Pay is a very, very large card scheme. In fact, if you look at just in terms of sheer numbers, it's one of the largest in the world. It covers 140 major markets, and mainly it's around China and Hong Kong and Macau and Singapore. And if you look at the breakup in terms of what do these markets really sort of accept, Alipay is the largest, followed by Union Pay and then by TenPay. So it's approximately 80% of the China payments market is what you can get with this. Now, when you look at what we have right now is this is a simple screenshot. We're not going to do a demo, but it's really as simple as activating it, and then your customers will be able to pay through Union Pay. It really has very little chargeback risk, and the fraud liability actually shifts over. Where it supports domestic and cross-border transactions, supports a bunch of currencies over here. But very important to remember, this is not for subscriptions because you're not going to get recurring capabilities just in terms of the payment processor that we currently have. Yeah. So that's one bit. The second bit that we wanted to talk about is also about expanding into UK, which is direct debit. So for those of you who are in UK, who are selling to UK, you know that direct debit is a hugely popular payment method. 67% of household bills get paid in this way, and what we are looking to do right now is we will have it turned on for Enterprise Edition accounts, and it should be available by the 30th of April. And what this does is provide you a very seamless way of actually having direct debit turned on within the payment methods, as you can see from the screenshot here. Okay. And if there's any questions on these payment methods, please make sure that you just type it in, and we'll catch it as we go along. Let's go to the next section of the Spring 15 release. So we talked about these pieces. This section is particularly a favorite of mine because we're going to be talking about revenue recovery tools. And for those of you who have not heard about revenue recovery tools, what this is actually quite straightforward, right? Revenue recovery tools, for the first time, brings together data around payments, data around subscription billing, and data around commerce all in one interface. This typically gives an order of magnitude of benefits that it's very hard for you to realize for yourself. You're trying to build it across different payment processors and so on and so forth with something that we call an authorization dashboard. What Revenue Recovery Tools does is it helps you claw back all of the lost revenues that you typically don't get in the process. What do I mean by that? If any normal customer selling online typically sees authorization rates about 80%. What happens to the other 20%? Well, the other 20% are lost because of multiple factors. It could be because credit cards have been expired and you ran a subscription renewal with an expired credit card. Clearly, it's not going to work. Or it could be, some of them are what we call soft declines. So every time when you look at an authorization rate, the loss is actually divided into two buckets. There's hard declines and there's soft declines. Hard declines are basically saying, look, there's no way that you can actually recover that, with the exception of having a customer make a manual intervention to come in and update the credit card, etc. We have that, and that's called Dunning logic, right? So we have that as part of that. On the soft declines, there could be other reasons why the card got declined. It could be because the gateway was down. It could be because you haven't tried you actually are authorized to try authorizing a card, but you didn't try it at the right time. So you want to change the schedule to see if you can try authorizing a card at a later date. So for example, if you try and authorize a card on a Friday, it typically goes better than authorizing it on a Monday. Why? Because most people tend to spend, right? On a Friday, it's payday, and things are actually good on that day, whereas they tend to spend over the weekend, and when you try to authorize it on a Monday, you typically may not get the authorization to go through. So what this has is a collection of all of these tools. It has what you see here in authorization dashboard. It has an account updater that basically takes all of the credit cards, sends it externally to Visa and MasterCard, and gets the most updated credit card. So if things were lost, things were stolen, you always have the latest card before you run it, thereby improving the authorization rate. You have advanced retry logics. This is the ability for us to retry authorizing the card at different times with a different schedule to make sure that you're actually getting the most amount of your money, which is really critical when you think about subscriptions and subscription-related payments. Third, it's about dunning management. If there is a hard decline, we automatically will send an email to the customer saying, hey, we could not authorize your card. Can you please update your credit card number? What it does is every time, if you can avoid an escalation into a call center where somebody has to actually call the customer and say, can you please update your card, it's estimated it costs anywhere from $35 to $50 per interaction. That's the savings that you're actually going to get into your business by doing that. And moreover, we also have integrated third-party tools like Verify, which helps us in in decline salvage. All of these elements put together is what you end up getting for revenue recovery tools. Now, it's really critical to remember that this is a paid add-on, which means that it's not available out of the box, included with Enterprise Edition, but it is a paid thing. But it works only for every revenue that we actually really help you recovering on top of your current business. So if you think about it this way, let's say that you have a certain online revenue run rate that you're currently experiencing. All this tool will do for you is increase that. And if it doesn't increase it, there is no skin off your back, meaning you don't have to pay for that service, right? It's only on the incremental. That's kind of how we price it. It's completely risk-free for you guys to try it out in case you're interested. And as Marius mentioned, you should talk to your customer success managers for that. Okay, let me keep moving, and if there's any questions, we can catch it in the end. This will be helpful for companies who are really looking at going into B2B, and it's really about purchase order optimization. What it simply means is we are trying to provide more triggers to give you better visibility into purchase order events. So for example, if there's few events that happens here, if you by any chance reject a purchase order or the deadline for the purchase order expires due to the shopper not submitting the purchase order, or they're not paying, or you're just rejecting it because you're not going to be accepting this purchase order, you get a notification that helps your back office process and systems. You use that knowledge to better use on the way you would want it, right? We're just giving you some flexibility there in terms of the PO side. Keep moving over here. The final section that I have is really around API and advancements. How do you control the fulfillment and trusted partner, to which I will invite my colleague here, Marius, to take over and talk about this. Marius, I'm going to go to the next slide, and it's all yours to speak.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. So if you guys followed Avangate in the past few years, you know that we've continually invested in our APIs, and this latest stage of that investment, it just goes to show that we are indeed committed to exposing more and more of the platform functionality through our Avangate APIs, and to just let you do a lot more without having to use the cPanel, the control panel, without having to use the shopping cart. So basically, you can automate processes on your site, on your servers, based on information that you can get from Avangate and into the Avangate platform, and you can build custom experiences that really stretch to any touch point where you have customers, be it mobile devices, be it desktops, and so on and so forth. And what I really want to talk about is the product API. Now, you already know that we have APIs around the ordering process. You have APIs around the partner portal, the channel manager flow. We already have APIs around subscriptions and subscription and customer management, allowing you to do renewals and upgrades. And we've also started to introduce the product API I think about a year ago. And at that time, it did allow you to extract some information from the Avangate platform, and now we're taking it a step forward. You can already find the documentation for the product API in the help area of your control panel. And the product API, now the latest enhancements are really around letting you manage your product catalog in Avangate without actually the need for the control panel, right? We're envisioning use cases around, and we've heard this feedback from some of you, use cases around helping you migrate from your sandbox account to your production account as easy as possible. And this is something that the product API will help you do, because you'll be able to extract the product catalog, the entire product catalog from one account, and just have it available in another account. Furthermore, you can think about synchronizing a product catalog that's in your backend with Avangate's product catalog, and push any kind of changes seamlessly into Avangate, and just you'll be able to actually manage product attributes in real time, right? So what will you be able to actually configure is anything that's around product setup, right? So descriptions, product names, product groups, pictures, and so on and so forth. But it's really more about going beyond that. It's helping you manage subscription plans, for example, right? Renewal pricing, subscription, recurring billing cycles, and more around subscription. And of course, it's about allowing you to manage pricing, volume pricing, special pricing configurations, specific pricing options, all of this right through the API, just using the Avangate API, right? We support JSON RPC and SOAP for the time being. There's a lot of exciting stuff planned for later this year, and I'll make sure to keep you up to date. But just this is a great chance to just try out the enhancements that we've done so far, and really see where we're trying to go with this. And it's a great chance also for you to kind of provide some feedback on the direction of the product API, and help us assess as best as possible your needs, the needs of your business, and have those reflected properly when it comes down to the products that we're delivering, and in this particular case, in this specific case, the Avangate product API. Raj, could we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. All right. Now, I want you to know that we've diversified a little bit the fulfillment options for your orders, and this is actually in response to requests that we've heard from you. Now, I do want to underline that we have our own proprietary anti-fraud capabilities, and we have an entire risk department committed to actually keeping fraud down as much as possible for each and every one of you. And Avangate Fraud Detective 2.0 is a standard across all our packages, including standard and enterprise. But we've heard from some of you that you actually wanted a little bit more control around proving orders, around fulfillment, especially in scenarios in which Avangate is doing all of the heavy lifting. So, for example, if Avangate is delivering product keys or product files or activation codes on your behalf, this is the particular scenario I'm talking about, which we actually enhanced, right? So before this enhancement, you had 3 options at your disposal. So Avangate could deliver everything on your behalf, including license keys from static or dynamic lists, product files, activation codes. The other one was that you would actually handle the delivery, the fulfillment process, and you would programmatically confirm order delivery to Avangate. Either you could do this using instant delivery notifications, or you could actually do this manually as well. And the third option that was usually and is usually used by companies selling subscriptions is that Avangate we're taking actual delivery out of the equation, because what you're actually offering your customers, what you're actually selling is access to a particular service. So when it comes to this, the first option, when Avangate delivers license keys or activation code on your behalf, we've enhanced that with a new option, and it will allow you now to actually block the delivery, the fulfillment process, put a stop to it until you review the order and you give it the green light. Some scenario, for example, a scenario what I can think of that you might want to use this is if a returning customer is entitled only to specific new products that you have available, right? And it really depends on their purchase history, on their active subscriptions, on the discounts that they benefited from, right? And based on that, you might not want to offer them access to the entire catalog. You might want to restrict that, and this gives you the chance to actually control which orders will be fulfilled. Okay, Raj, can you help me once again, please? Thank you. And I did talk a little bit about continued investment and continued commitment, and this is basically the last slide of our presentation. So I would just love to encourage you to get your questions ready. Please use once again the question box on the right-hand side of your screen. And I want to say that we are deeply committed to making sure that our business is using the latest certifications. It's in compliance with regulations and with legislation into all the markets in which we operate. And this, of course, means that your business also benefits from the certifications and from our compliance. One example, of course, would be PCI compliance, which we do yearly. But here are actually three new standards that we're complying with. The first two are around international assurance, and it's about public accountants and the way that they work with reporting and with auditors. And Safe Harbor is around compliance with data collection, especially in United States, the European Union, and Switzerland. Right. So this being said, I'm going to hand over control back to Raj.
Perfect. Thank you, Marius. So if there's any questions, please let us know. And let me just check right now. I'm not tracking any questions at this point. So again, I would like to thank everybody for their time today on the call. I appreciate your patience and attention. And if there's anything that we could do, like Marius is saying, please feel free to reach out to either us or to your customer success manager, and we'd be happy to answer as they come by. Have a great evening, great morning, wherever you are, and I will talk to you guys on the next episode of product release webinars.
Have a great one, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.